This is my presentation on fueling tomorrow, the power of ethanol sustainability. So, ethanol is a widely used biofuel made from the fermentation of sugar and plant materials, and it's a really good alternative fuel source because it reduces greenhouse emissions and it limits the use of fossil fuels. It's typically produced from crops such as sugar, cane, corn, and wheat. So it's cultivated from plants that are rich in carbohydrates such as sugar, cane, and corn. So with corn, it's cultivated involving grinding, enzymatic conversion, and fermentation, which turns into ethanol, and then this is blended as gasoline as a biofuel. So sugarcane, the process with that, it's harvested and then the juice is extracted to be processed into ethanol. The production process starts with harvesting. When the plant is harvested, it goes to preparation. So the harvested material is ground into a fine powder. It's then fermented, which means enzymes are added into the powder to convert the starches into sugar. Yeast is then introduced to ferment the sugars into ethanol. Its fourth step is distillation. So the fermented mixture is distilled to separate ethanol from the water and other components. Its fifth step is dehydration. So ethanol is further processed to remove any remaining water to increase its purity. And then the sixth step is blending. So blending that final product with gasoline to produce ethanol. Its developmental status is that ethanol is a mature biofuel that's been used for a really long time, and we've been producing it for a really long time. So it's no longer in that early phases of research and development. And different countries have used ethanol for a long time and mandated its use and adopted an E10 mixture, which is 10% ethanol and 90% gasoline, which is particularly popular in the United States. Ethanol's impact on the carbon footprint is that it's seen as a more friendly option compared to fossil fuels. However, the actual reduction in carbon emissions depends on such factors such as the energy utilized during production and the specific types of materials. However, its potential to greatly decrease the carbon footprint in transportation is large because it emits greenhouse gases when it's burnt. Ethanol's economic impact is it boosts the agricultural sector, it creates jobs, and it supports rural economies, which also helps in reducing the dependency of oil imports, which results in stable fuel prices. With rural economies, it supports them by creating new jobs, so in these rural communities, so that it also boosts our economy. Ethanol production has resulted in 73,000 jobs across the country, 52.1 billion of the gross domestic product, and 28.7 billion in household income. And its economic impact may vary based on factors such as government subsidies and market fluctuations. Efforts to communicate ethanol's use to the public is things like public awareness campaigns such as videos, ads, or even posters posted up, and advocacy through government agencies and environmental organizations. My analysis based on this data is that governments should invest in the cultivation of ethanols and other biofuels, and we should continue educating the general public about ethanol and its economic and environmental benefits to garner more support for the biofuel. So, my plan of action with adequate funding is to explore new biofuel sources so we can invest in ways to find new ways to make ethanol from different plants, which will make ethanol more widely available. My second one is to reduce pollution with new technology so we can develop and use technology that captures and reuses pollution during ethanol production, with in turn helps the environment. We could also make ethanol more accessible, so encouraging cars that run on ethanol and have more gas stations with E85 fuel, which is 85% ethanol, 15% gasoline, so that more people can use ethanol. And we can also just keep on teaching people and educating them about ethanol and telling the general public about the good things that ethanol does, such as reducing pollution and creating jobs. We could also make this incentive and give rewards to people who make ethanol and those who use it. And these are my resources. Thank you for listening to my presentation.